Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're tuning in from today. It is June 23rd, currently 1:37 p.m. in the afternoon. It is a beautiful day today, and it's a little warm, but it is definitely beautiful. It's a little breezy out there. It's windy today. So it's not as hot as it was yesterday. Yesterday was also very warm, but it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad with the breeze. So that helped. It wasn't as humid as it normally would get. So what we're going to do is hop on some Fallout today. I am a lot late with my stream today. Again, just like Friday, I let things kind of get out of control. And then I saw that my window for my live stream in the morning was over. So I was going to kind of pass on today, but I'm trying to be consistent with my schedule. I did feel that today, but I'm like, okay, I didn't get it at the time, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have some time. I've got about an hour, so that's how long my streams are. I'm like, okay, that would be perfect. So let's just do a stream today. And tomorrow we'll be back to normal. I think Mondays are just a little hard because it's like you're waking up and you're starting the week off, and it's like you want the weekend to stay. You want the weekend to stay and just to be like relaxed, and you don't want to do the stuff that you need to do. So it's just like, God, no. Let's see, I'm on my low-level character right now because I wanted to do my daily quest, get that over and done with. And then on my high level is where I will be spending most of my time. That is an interesting outfit, to say the least. I just skip all this dialogue because it's all the same. I don't think I've got anybody on. Yeah. I could always ask, like, tomorrow, if I get any plans that I need to switch over, I can just ask a friend to help. Him and his girlfriend are usually on. She was introduced to Fallout. I was excited. I love to play with my friend. We've known each other for a while, and we just get along so well, and we've been there for each other to help, and when he was supportive, and he helped during my time during like me and my husband. We're all good friends. My husband and I met him at the same time on Fallout, actually. We became close friends, and then he found someone unexpectedly. It was amazing because I'd always tell him, like, you typically aren't looking for the relationship. You know, the relationship isn't something that you're actively seeking. You're going to be on the lookout, of course, but you're not striving for that. So yeah, it was kind of unexpected, and it was amazing because they seemed to be made for each other, just like when me and my hubby met. We met just on Fallout. We met on Fallout. And it was unexpected. Neither of us were looking for a relationship. None of us were. And either of us were just like, we're kind of in the part where we didn't think that we didn't think there we go. We didn't think that we'd find anybody. And when we had met, we didn't think anything of it. We really didn't think anything of it. And all of a sudden, it just happened. It, out of the blue, just happened. I was thinking about making can-do, but I could probably go to a camp and just get the canned coffee out for collect pre-war. Collect soap would be a White Spring. Eat pre-war food. I've got plenty. Scrap pre-war money. I think I've got some in my because they don't have yeah, they don't have the traditional vendor type setup here. So yes, I'll get to that. That's so funny. Oh, undershirt and jeans. I needed that, so sweet. That's a plan I didn't know. So yeah, anyway, we'll go back to the story. So, hubby and I met. We didn't really think anything of it. We didn't think that we're gonna be anything. We didn't even have that on our minds. And the way that we met is we were playing Fallout, and he happened to stumble upon me. I like this. I got a thrasher's head just before they just right there, bam, one hit and I was gone. But the northern lights, the aurora, was following me because from my camp, and it was just like glitched into the sky. And someone had dropped a nuke on the event. I can't remember what the event is. I don't think it's Dangerous Pastimes. I think that's one of the other events, but it's the one with the 3 robots. I keep forgetting. Anyway, so someone had dropped a nuke. We had just gotten done with that, and we were getting ready to do a caravan, and it glitched, I think, in that area, or we completed, I can't remember exactly what. I was roaming off because I came from my camp originally, and I was just like hopping to and from. And once I got done with the caravan, I was just telling my friend, I was like, look at that, I got the aurora. They couldn't see it. So I got the aurora, and I was running off to go fish while they set up another caravan. And I was going to take a picture because it looks so cool. And then the thrasher just comes up and just smacks me, and I'm like, oh, darn. Was down immediately. I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. I'll get even. And I did. I went after them for doing that. Don't do that in real life. No, absolutely don't do that in real life. But this is in the game. So I'm like, those darn oversized turkeys. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is see if there's any soap. I don't really want to go running to the big area, so I'm hoping that there's at least some soap in this this world, because I'm so late to doing the dailies. Everyone is usually up in the mornings. So like it's our reset here. I'm in Wisconsin. It's at 11 a.m. is when we have our reset here. Other countries, depending on where you are, it's later, earlier. The reset, like back in Idaho, is 2 hours prior. So at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm just looting naturally. Just seeing if there's anything I can get my hands on. I've got Fallout First for the time being, so I'm just going to like pick everything up that I can that has use for me. Let's see if we have the soap. We do. Alright, collect 2 soaps. 1, 2. That's done. Gonna come in here and loot. That is pre-war money. I mean, the pre-war money. Pre-war food, so that counts. If there's anything else in here. I don't know why sugar doesn't count as pre-war. I'm not going to take any of the soap. There should be pre-war food in here. Sugar bombs. Take the plastic bowls. And this stuff is for cloth, so pick this up. And ceramic and cloth. This is pre-war food, even though it's dog food. It's funny. Oh, I guess I couldn't make it in time. Let's see what we have in here, if there's any like gumdrops or anything we can get. I just clear this place out. If it's nothing that's a daily that we have to pick up, then I won't. I'll be okay with cleaning the places out. If it's something like soap, I will leave it in case someone's looking for it. I don't take what I don't need when it comes to the dailies and stuff. It's just not. I'll take a pillow. Bear with me here. I'm excited that I got some pre-war money. More. And this Apraxo cleaner is good for your acid. Like if you need acid to scrap for acid, this would be a good place to go. If that's ever. Paper cups, good for cloth. This place is really valuable. I used to do my rounds religiously with Fallout when I first got here, like when I first started the game. It wasn't as fun back in the day. Back in the day we had, before Wastelanders, we didn't really have any NPCs. And if you played solo like I did at the time, it was very lonely. It was just like an empty wasteland. Like it felt super desolate. Which to me made no sense, because it's like, yes, you have all these people that were supposed to come out of the vault, but what about the other people that move from the neighboring locations? They weren't a part of the vault, so it would make sense that they would be here. Alright, that's all there. So I was extremely happy. I was happy with the Wastelanders when it came out. I was happy to have NPCs and additional quests to do. I was super happy when I met my husband, and he allowed me to grow. Because honestly, if it weren't for him, I don't think that I would have ever. Oh, there's one here. I can go. Perfect. I didn't even see that. I'll leave that for someone else. I will take the paper cup and the glasses, though. I honestly don't think I would have been as open to talking with people. So he helped me kind of break out of that shell. There's that one. Let's see if there's any events that we can do really quickly. Let's do the Meyer Feral Ghouls. Those are pretty easy to find. I was like really shy, and I grew up thinking that I was a burden, that was a problem, that I was unlikable, I was unattractive, I was ugly, and I didn't think I was ugly. Like, I thought I was a beautiful person. But when you grow up with that constant negativity in your life, it does a number on you, and you decide that it's not even worth it's not worth fighting anymore. So you just accept that that's who you are, and at that point it hurts a lot and you kind of give up, but then you still end up treating people with respect and stuff. You don't let it deter you. You don't let it turn you ugly. You just accept the fact that you're so different from everybody else that you're just never gonna fit in, and it doesn't matter how you try. Because I remember as a kid trying to fit in, trying to do the things that needed to be done to fit in, so I was likable. And it never did go very far because those kids would do things that I didn't agree with, and I would just walk away. And it was not anything that I wanted to be a part of. As simple as that. Gun drops. So I never had a lot of friends growing up because of that. Like, it would be like, oh, I really want to be a friend, and I really want friends, but in order to be friends, I'm like required to act like a fool, act like I have no respect for myself or for others, which was incorrect. I do. I have a lot of respect for my family, even though I never had like respect given to me. I thought that for sure this would be like where the thing would be. So this is a negative. So we'll go over here so they can't see us. Like, literally thought that this would be the place for it, but it's not. See. Oh, it would be here, Sunday Brothers Cabin. Their school's there. Duh. But their school's there too. It's just that, I guess, not the right place. They're more towards the Scorched. So, oh well, we'll get it. And then, yeah, back to the story. I grew up that way. I grew up believing that I was never going to be enough for someone. I was never going to be good enough for anybody. I had people telling me constantly that I was just ick, you know? I never understood why. I was always nice to people. I always treated people with respect. I was not a bad kid. So I grew up thinking that way, and to my adulthood, it followed me, and I was content. I came to terms. I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna find anybody. I just don't think that I can compete with I was like, I don't think I can compete with like the other women that are out here. You know, I always was telling myself they're so much prettier than me, and I'm not anything that anybody would want. So I really did a number on myself, talking bad about myself and believing a lie that someone told me just so they can feel better about themselves, that they could feel better about their looks, they can feel better about treating people badly, because I didn't really fight back. I couldn't fight back. I couldn't justify being so negative and hurtful to people, no matter what. So, when I met him, I at first didn't think anything of it. He had sent me, I was in Flatwoods, he sent me a friend request. And it was out of the blue, and I was on my brother's account at the time. So I didn't, like I said, I didn't really think anything of it. And then I didn't accept it or anything. But the next day, I ended up going online, and then lo and behold, who shows up? And I'm like, how? And then I look, and I'm like, oh, it says that we're friends. I'm like, okay, so someone must have, and it was my brother. He accepted the friend request without knowing who it was. So my now husband messaged, like, didn't message at first. I just was talking, and I told him I didn't have a mic because I did have a mic, but I didn't have the cord for the mic. so I couldn't really talk to him. I was using my headset just primarily for the Bluetooth functionality, listening to music, using my phone. So it was connected to my phone, and I was using it for that purpose. And then who just met, was not messaging me. I messaged him. So I messaged him, and I let him know that I didn't have a mic, that I could hear him, but I wouldn't be able to really talk to him because I didn't have the cord. I'd have to find that first, and I was also very shy, so I didn't, honestly, I didn't want to talk to him because I was like, there's no point in me talking to anybody. And I was like, oh, it's not like they're going to be interested in me anyway. And the funny thing is that when I first met him, his voice immediately was like, I didn't understand why I've reacted the way that I did. I still don't to this day understand. But something inside me just flipped. And not in a bad way. It was just like, it flipped me in a way, like it flipped inside like it was like a light bulb was turning on. So I didn't understand it. And I didn't let him know. I did not let him know. I was too scared. I was too scared of rejection. I had been rejected my entire life, and I just didn't want to put myself through. And I should say that I was rejected because I didn't make the I didn't do the opportunity. Like, I didn't take the opportunity. So I felt rejected, even though some of the time it was just, I didn't even give the people a chance. And if I was rejected, it was rejection from peers. Like school, I was bullied relentlessly. So it would be in that manner that I felt rejected. So I had felt rejected, and I got it into my head that I was never going to be good enough. I was always going to be a problem. I was never going to be anything a woman that a man would want. I'm not. There's three, so if you can come here, there's plenty of places to, like, plenty of food to eat. If anyone's looking, this is the Sunday Brothers Cabin. I wasn't even aware that it had that food down there. I do have my, go back to my camp, my little tent here, and scrap the rest of that pre-war money. So I didn't really think anything of it. And then, there we go. I ended up talking to him. The following day he played with me, like he was talking on the mic, and I was answering back, and I was starting to help him with his, because he was like, hey, can you help? I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, sure, that's fine. I'd be happy to help. So I did. I've not been to the abandoned waste dump, though. I can probably go to this camp here, because all these other places are probably going to be already gone. So, I'm closer to this location, so let's just go to this fast travel here. So I was answering him, we were talking, and I could hear his voice, and like the moment, it's just like that light switch went off, and then I started to like him more and more and more. We play every day. Like, we started to play that day and every day, therefore there was hardly a day that we missed playing together, and we just grew closer and closer together. And then there was one conversation I remember. He had met someone earlier because I was at work, and he was had the day off, and this is during the time where his grandmother had passed away, so he was on leave. So he was, I had work, and he was already on playing, and he met somebody, and the person was in the party. When I got back home, I got into my comfy, that was loud. I got into my comfy clothes because I don't wear my work clothes at home because I was a business casual. I worked in an office. So, and I was raising my labs at that time, and I didn't want... Let's turn it down for my headset. I didn't want my clothes to get, gunky, because I had puppies at the time, and puppies are unruly when you're outside. Anyway, so I put my comfy clothes on. I had done the chores and stuff that I had to do. I log on, I message him, I was like, hey, I'm hopping on. So I hop on, and this is actually quite nice. I like this build. And there's this guy that who had met that started to talk about like relationships and because he, I guess, is going through a separation with his wife, and he was talking to my hubby about it, my now hubby. At that point, we were just friends. He was talking to him about it, and he was asking us a bunch of questions, and it felt like a setup at first, but when I asked my hubby about it later, he was like, no, it wasn't. That was kind of out of the blue and unexpected on my part too. But unbeknownst to us, that was like the catalyst. That was like what threw us into being like, oh, this is possibly someone who is a good fit for us, because we were talking about things, and then we both were like, oh, we're not looking, we're not really wanting to date yet. Because he was asking us a bunch of questions. What we look like, what our relationship status was, if we were single, married, or, actively dating someone. Both of us were like, no, we're not really looking for anything. We're kind of given up on that process. We've tried, and he's tried multiple times. I've tried to date, to find someone, and I never got that far. I could just never find someone that clicked with me, and I had to have a connection. Like I've been approached by several men, but I was never no, I was never interested. I would always, unfortunately make an excuse that I already had a boyfriend. And I never had anybody come at me except for one person, one guy. I was at work, and he wouldn't take that as an answer. He kept asking me questions, and I was like, I gotta get back to work. Those type of men, please stop. If they say that they have a boyfriend, just walk away. So I did that, and I couldn't find anybody that clicked, that I had a connection with. Nobody felt like it did when I met my husband. That was the first time I've ever had that feeling. So that was the thing that got us kind of questioning, and then we continued on our daily talking, gaming, getting closer together as friends, and then there came a day where I was feeling a little sick. My stomach was not right, and I was nauseous and tired from work, and I was playing with him, and I was like, I think I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna get to bed early. And so I said goodbyes, and then that was it. And then all of a sudden, I get this message a few moments later that was saying that I hope you have a good night. I hope you feel better. And then I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, is what he said. And then I'm just going to quietly hide right here. I don't want robots to come at me. And then he was like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I love you. And I was like, a little taken back. Not in a bad way, though. Not in a bad way. It was in the it was in the best way, because I had feelings for him. Like, I had started to fall in love with him. Even though I wasn't 100% sure of what I was feeling, I knew it was something more. And I knew that for some reason, he was special. And I started to fall in love with him. And I would, like, want to say something, but fear kept me from saying it. Because I wasn't sure if he felt the same way. So when I got that message, I was just like ecstatic. And I didn't read the entire message that night because my internet where we lived was bad. And it wouldn't load. So all I got to see was the first part where it said, have a good night. I hope you feel better. And that was all I was able to read. I didn't get to read the rest of it until the next morning. And the next morning I wake up and I was like just giddy and surprised. And then I was like, I was just like telling him that I felt, I had the same feelings. And I've got a bunch of stuff on me. There you go. These I think I'll keep for the mods. And then, so I did. I was like, I like you too. And, like, I told him, I really like you. So I went ahead and was like, oh, let me give you my number. I did. I gave him my phone number. And that was it. That day, we saw each other for the first time. He sent a selfie, I sent a selfie. I'd never taken a selfie before that, really, and I was super nervous. And take the beer. We just like started that day, and I would say the 28th. I think this is like that following day. He was like, I want to ask you if you wanted to try to give us a go. I know we're long distance, but I'm willing if you're willing. I keep forgetting that I'm not on my high level, so I'm okay with getting hit a couple times. And so he asked me, he's like, if you want to try, I'm willing to try to give us a go. Because I fell in love with you, and I want to be with you. So I didn't really give it a second thought. Honestly, I was like, yeah, I definitely do. I really do, because I have feelings for you. And these feelings are very deep. I told him I fell in love with you. I was terrified to tell you because I didn't want to be rejected, and I didn't want to lose you as a friend. Because I'd rather be a friend than to lose someone I care about. And it all worked out. I didn't have to worry. I didn't have anything to worry about. He was feeling the same way for me, towards me. So that was the moment. And the day that happened was on February 28th, just before the end of the month. And then April is, I think it was April, is when I had my, it might have been May, but I think it was April. Because it was before I left. I think it was in May, because early May, that I had my awakening, where I was well, I don't know how to really explain it, other than that's where I ran to God. That's when I ran back to God. I think I'm in a party. Yeah, okay, I'm in a party. It was an experience, and I would say that I would say of last year, many years after we had met, did I return to Christ. I had fallen away after I was diagnosed with cancer and lost our baby. I fell away from Christ. I was tormented and lost and confused. I didn't know what to do. Didn't know to turn to anybody. So it was a rough time in my life. Because it was just like you're fighting for your life, and then you didn't have time to mourn because it was just like as soon as that happened, it was just like rush to the hospital, back to another hospital for cancer care, and you were just like immediately focused on, okay, I've got to get there, I got to make it out of here, and your mind is just not focused on that anything else, and you can't grieve properly because you don't have access to the people that you love because this is during the height of COVID. So I couldn't have anybody there all the time, and I had to fight to have my husband and my late mother-in-law to come and visit me. I fought. I was just like, I can't do this alone. It's either you let me have visitors so I can have someone to support me, or I'm just going to check myself out because I'm not going to stay here. I don't want to stay here because if I... Oh, darn, these are all gone too. They must have just got over here. There's one there. Oh, that's right. I've got this guy here for my... There's 6. Darn. I gotta go up here anyway, so let's go to the Clancy Manor and get the rest of the people and then get those fish. But that was the hardest part, I think, was going through that during the height of COVID. Just fighting tooth and nail to get the ability to have people to support me. And we were going through a rough time in my relationship, but that was like a big awakening for my husband, because it's like this is where you can... That didn't even count. That didn't even count. It's a human enemy unless they're ghouls, which can happen. Oh heck, look at it, I'll just pick them all up. No caps, no caps, no caps. Let's see if we can find... Oh, I forgot that I'm on my high level again. I'm on my low level again, so... There we go. I don't know why the other two didn't work out. Honestly. Alright, let's run straight this way and leave these guys alone. Someone else can come and end their reign. We get some fish caught. Oh, I don't know what that was, but okay. There's a couple different places that you can fish here. Not just in that one little location. It doesn't matter. You can go to Grafton, like you can fish right here. And then you can fish in these pools here. Just depends on what you're comfortable with. You have enemies that are here, but they're all over there, and you can fish in these little ponds right here. These are deep enough to fish, I believe. Oh, maybe these aren't, maybe this one's not the one. I think it's this one here. Yeah. This is like deep water. If you are a bloody build, you definitely want to make sure that you are in something that maybe it's right here. I'll take care of these guys so they don't. Oh, Rockers over there. I think you can fish here. No, darn. I think the easiest place to fish is gonna be. Because this is so radiated. Let's go to Grafton. Go to Grafton Station. You can fish just like right next to where the train station is. And you only have to take care of a couple of rad toads. And you really don't have to worry about anything else coming after you. Just responding back to my husband, who just letting me know that he's going to be on his way home soon. My favorite time of the day is when he gets off of work and can spend some time with me. I think right here you can fish, because this should be deep enough. Yeah, right here. So this, if you fish right here, you avoid the rad toads. And I have regenerative armor, so I don't have to worry about my rads. I have enough boots, so I'm not going to worry about it. How we met was, yeah, it was just definitely an interesting, an unexpected surprise. So when my friend met his now girlfriend, it was just like deja vu, and the similarities between their relationship and the relationship of me and my husband is crazy. Me and my friend are a lot alike. He's just a male version of me, essentially. We are up under severe weather. A thunderstorm watch tonight. Lovely. But we're a lot alike, and I was going through a hard time. I'm not gonna lie. There was this whole probability of like there was this whole probability that he could have come in very easily and took me away from my husband, because at that point it was before we really made a commitment. So we wanted to get married. At least that's what he said during the early part of our relationship, and I know that I wanted to marry him. I have been in love with him from the very beginning. I wanted to be faithful to him and true to him, and I had my morals, my values, that I was like, you know, if I'm choosing someone, I'm gonna choose just them. I didn't sleep around. I didn't date anybody. If I had people come to me and ask me, it was like, no, I'm not interested. Sorry. I didn't date just to date. I didn't want to have sexual relations with people just because. I wanted to be meaningful. I wanted a relationship that was going to be meaningful, and I wanted everything to be with the partner that I was going to choose for the rest of my life. It was my husband, and I was very picky about my husband. So with him, it was just like, oh, I gotta respond again. Hold on. It's just telling me that we have a severe thunderstorm warning. So, Yeah, I was extremely picky, and I didn't want to just have relations with anybody that came to my door. I wanted to have meaning, and I wanted it to be like long lasting. My parents were together for a long time. My brother's 46, so, and they've been together. Yeah, they've been together for quite a while. Um, my brother was born, I want to say, 2-ish years after they started to date. They had been together 5 years before they got married. My brother was born before they got married. So yeah, so they've been together for near 50 years. Um, and that says a lot about them. That says a lot about them. Um, there you go. Almost some of this. And I wanted my relationship to be long lasting like that. I wanted the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I didn't want it to be and until then, I didn't want to be a placeholder. I wanted to be someone's love. And I wanted them to feel the same way about me that I did towards them. Um, so we had that rough patch, and it was really hard. It was extremely difficult when you have people who are constantly telling you, leave him, just leave. You don't deserve this. And it's like, I didn't deserve it, but like, how can I leave? I loved him, and I didn't understand like why he was doing it, and um, I wanted to know why, and I wanted to just I wanted him to essentially say either yes or no, because I wanted it, but did he want it? And then along came, we met this friend, and um, we got very close, and it didn't get close in a sense where um, it was like I was just gonna move to that country. Um, but we did get very close, and to this day, I love him dearly. I do. I love him dearly. I want nothing but the best for him. Um, and he is definitely. So I've got my best friend. He helped me with. He helped me with my relationship. He helped me to open up my eyes to find my strength again. In a manner where you would have someone who's just like, you can do this, you can fight through this, and he would reassure me. He's like, I know he loves you. You just have to be patient and set your boundaries and just be consistent with those boundaries. And and he also helped me get back into my faith, because doing that, getting consistent and setting those boundaries. One of the things was I was being called back, and what was really interesting is I hadn't really thought about my faith all that much. I was starting to get back into it, but it wasn't as consistent as it should have been. It wasn't as consistent. It's definitely gotten better now. But the moment that I really connected was a day that it was within a week, I want to say, of me coming back home. I want to say that's the timeline. It's everything's so close together. It happened so quickly. So I came back home from visiting my parents, and we had a fight. He had lied to me about something, and that was the last thing I needed, because trust between us was extremely broken and strained, and I didn't know if I could trust him again. And that's what my mind was going towards. It's is this really gonna be the end of the hurt? Do I have to worry about him trying to cheat? Do I have to worry about him trying to step out, doing the things that he did before, being disrespectful and hurtful? And we had a big fight, and I reacted with my emotions again, which is something that I normally do. is react with emotion. And I had been learning not to do that, but I was still very much anew to getting my stuff because it was in the previous September-ish, October is when I started my healing journey. And that was still very new for me. We still have this to get. Oh, I've got a lot to do in this thing. So anyway, so it was still very new in my healing journey. So I reacted with emotion, and I was just like, how could you? How could you lie to me? And I was devastated because the trust that I started to rebuild crumbled again. And it just made me fearful and afraid and not safe in that time. So I ended up going outside, sitting on the curb and just crying. A neighbor put me up in a hotel, and they tried to get me to leave. Where they were really adamant about me leaving, and I didn't know what to do. I was just so overwhelmed at that moment. I just got into the hotel and cried. I just cried, took a shower, went to bed. I didn't talk to him the entire time. I didn't tell him where I was. I stopped. I stepped out, and I was just like really wanting to know what I was supposed to do. Am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be with him? What is going on? Why do I feel like this isn't meant to be? Am I trying too hard? And once I woke up in the morning, I was unsure again, but something in me was just like, it's okay, everything's gonna be fine, just trust. And it was just like extremely hard to trust. It was extremely hard to give that trust to someone who just ended up. And that's when it really dawned on me that the reason that it was so hurtful is because I wasn't understanding. I was just assuming that it was all from the same heart, you know? And it was a realization that he didn't know that what he did was inherently going to hurt me. He actually didn't know. And it was something that we should have talked about, but I reacted so emotionally charged that I blew it up into something that it wasn't. A week after that incident, I had another thing happen to me to where I essentially felt like I had died. I remember sitting on the bed, and then I was laying at an angle I never normally do. This is like a vision I had. I'm not sure what was going on, but I was laying in a vision, a part that I never had. And I remember looking at the TV and watching my husband play Grand Theft Auto, and I looked at the countdown. They have the countdown that's in the lower right-hand side of the thing. Like if you have an event that's going on, they'll have a countdown. And I remember it reading like 32 seconds. And I remember just watching that countdown, and in my head, I could just see flashes and flashes and flashes. And then all of a sudden, when it started getting closer and closer, I just felt like everything closing. And everything was just going black and black and black. And I just remember whispering, this is it. I think I'm dying. I was like, this is really it. I am dying. And then it just went black. And I could just, it felt like my soul was lifted up. And then I remember like seeing things, like it was like this was something that happens in the future. I'm not so sure what was going on, but I remember waking up and just be like, no, I can't, I can't, no. And then I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't even know where I was. I just like, I came to, like, I had passed out, and then hubby was trying to wake me up because he couldn't. Like, the last thing I felt was him kiss my lips before I completely blacked out. And that was the last thing that I felt, like the second time around, because I woke up and then I ended up passing out again. This is the second time that I felt that like something was pulling me back in, like pulling me out of somewhere. And the only thing I can think of is it's like pulling me out of darkness. That's what it felt like, being extracted. And this time that the vision was very Um, it wasn't bad. I felt like I was much, much older. Like in the first one, I was young, and it was like I felt anxiety and stress, and it was like panic, panic, panic. And then the second time, I felt more peaceful, and it was like I felt older, and I was like laying in a bed, and it looked like it was a hospital. My husband appeared very much older, and I remember saying that this is it, and I was telling him that someone loved him. And then I loved him, and then all of a sudden I just I felt my body just I could feel everything start to go numb, I couldn't feel anything, and it just reached up my body, and it got to my lips, and then I can feel his kiss. That was the last thing I felt, and then it just went dark. I ended up having 2 or 3 more episodes like that, to where it really rattled me. But at the end of those episodes, I just felt so much lighter. It was like something was being pulled. Like I was being pulled out of darkness, out of each situation that I was in my head of how I was going to die, because I was worried about death. I was worried about dying for some reason. And this stuck with me until the last episode I had. Oh, my hair was tickling. I was like, is that a bug? So I remember having those episodes, and after that moment, it was just nothing. But the last thing I remember, for the very last moment of me was, my wake-up call was I was running outside. I scared my husband so much. I jumped up, I ran outside, and I was just running towards God. It's like I could hear him. I could hear him. I didn't hear him audibly. It wasn't someone talking. It was I could hear him in my heart, my soul, talking to me, and I was just looking up, and I was just yes, Jesus. And then I remember when my husband came out to get me, because I was down the street, just and soaking up the sunlight. It was a beautiful day outside, and I was in my comfy clothes, so he was just in barefoot, and he was just I guess go back inside. And he was laughing at me because it was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, it was funny. I was singing a song. I didn't understand what song I was singing. My brother-in-law told me I was singing a song and just praising God. And I remember when he was walking, my husband was walking me back to the house. The things that I saw outside didn't really match. When I came to, everything was different. But I remember, I had my necklace on of, it was a necklace that was a memorial type necklace, but it had ashes in it. And for some reason, I had the urge to take that off, because it's carrying around death with you. And I have to be able to let things go with our baby, and stop blaming me. And that's when the whole you forgive yourself, I forgive you, you can forgive yourself, you're not above God, you're not above Jesus. So if I'm forgiving you, you're forgiven. Stop blaming yourself, stop beating yourself up, stop saying that you're not worth it, and you're not going to be able to have another child because you don't deserve it. There's nothing that you did wrong. You've been forgiven. And it was just it was going to restore my faith, my being to before I went into that darkness. It was everything was gonna be restored. Everything was gonna come back, and it was just tell them. And I was I just remember saying that I love you, and I will tell them. That's what I remember saying for the last part of it. Went to the house. I ended up having the 2 last episodes after that, where it felt I was being extracted. Something was being taken from, pulled from my body. The only thing I can think of is I was being taken from the darkness. And oh boy, that was it right there. There's no going back from that moment. I have been hooked on Christ ever since then. I have been hooked on God. I have wanted to increase my relationship with Him. And then the one thing that really struck out to me is that the closer that you try to get to God, the more you're going to be under attack, and that happens a lot. So if people say that, it is very true. It's going to come in subtle ways. It's going to come in non so subtle ways. And you're just going to have to not react to it. Because don't let it take your blissfulness away, your peace, because God's peace. And if you have Jesus and God in your corner, there's nothing that anybody can do to you. You know, they can hurt you physically maybe, but honestly, that's not anything, because it's just a physical body. My soul is eternal, and I want that eternal life to be with my Creator, with my Father. So it's like, I don't really care. You can try to hurt me physically, but you're not gonna take my faith, my eyes off of God. So things changed from there. It was outstanding, and it was a really weird time for everybody around me. I still get made fun of for that day, but it's all good. It's fine. It is what it is. It is funny when you look back on it, I will admit, but it was my wake-up call. It was like literally my wake-up call. Like, it felt like God was reaching down and pulling me out of that darkness. And since then, everything has changed. My relationship with my husband has changed. My relationships with friends and family has changed. Everything has changed. I am changing. And I noticed that there's little things about me that have changed as well. I don't react with emotions as much as I used to. That's getting so much better. I'm definitely more understanding when it comes to people who hurt me. I don't take it personally anymore. I try to understand from their perspective, why they may have done that, and if it was intentionally or not. Like, that coming from God for sure is the discernment. So I am more, I give more grace to people. And I've been starting to recognize that complaining is not healthy. I am grateful for everything I've been given. And I'm looking like, okay, I want more out of life. But it's like, how can you want more, but you don't appreciate what you already have? And that was big. Like, when I heard that, it was just like, how can you want more if you don't appreciate what you already have? And it was like, oh my gosh, it was a big revelation for me. It's just like, okay, I understand, because there are things that I complain about, and I'm like, why am I complaining? I have more than what other people may have, and they're happy with just being able to, and I'm sitting here complaining. So I have been making that a priority, over. I don't complain. It may not be what you want right now. It may not be what the ideal situation is, but you have what you need to sustain yourself. God's given you what you need. Be appreciative of that, and just know that it's not going to be the same. You're going to get more, and more is going to come in. You have to be patient. It's all in God's timing, but appreciate what you have. Take care of what you have now. And just use what you have to give glory to God. So that's something I've been working on personally, and especially in all areas of my life, with friendships, with relationships, with my husband, and my family. Just to give more grace, to give more forgiveness, to be more compassionate, to understand that we are all human. We're not perfect. The only perfect one was Christ. We're not perfect. We're going to mess up. We're going to fall. We're going to make mistakes. But we should still be able to give that grace, because that's what Jesus gave us. He didn't hang around with people who are perfect. He didn't hang around with people who knew the Torah and were close to God. He was hanging out with people who were non-perfect. They were messing up. They made mistakes, and they were the prostitutes and the tax collectors and the drunkards and all that. They were people who were sinning, but he was preaching and going to them, because they're the ones who needed the healing. And that moment right there is just like, now I understand the relationship I have with my husband. You know, our relationship, it was not me, you know, I wasn't perfect, he wasn't perfect. We gave that grace to each other, and we gave that space to each other, love each other. He loves me despite my being sick, you know, with my cancer, and having all of these this emotional baggage that I had from my childhood. So there's things that he was understanding for me, and then me with understanding with him, having experiences with past relationships, and having that baggage on top of what had happened with his childhood, you know, the childhood trauma. So I had to give grace, I had to give understanding to him on those fronts. So we really learned about each other. We learned about how to be supportive of each other, and not be condemning, especially because we don't have that authority. If someone is doing something that is not good, I'm not one to say, oh, you're going to go to hell. We don't have the authority to condemn and judge. We can judge righteously, and let them know, you know, that's not something, you know, someone who's active in hard drug use with illicit substances, or corn, or maybe they're going like sexual deviancy, and they've got a lot of things going on. They're quick to anger. They have anger issues, and they don't understand other people's point of view. We don't condemn them. We can judge them righteously, and be upfront with them and say, hey, this is a problem. These are demons, essentially, that are taking over your soul, making you feel this way. And returning to Christ and giving him all of your worries and everything will free you of this. Getting closer with God will free you of the anxiety, of the lustfulness, of fear, anger, etc. We can tell them, but we're not supposed to condemn them and say, oh, you're going to go to hell just because you don't have the same belief that I do. That's God's the only one who can judge. We are here to help people, to plant seeds, and if there's someone who is wanting to get closer to God and they don't know what avenues to take, that's where we come in, and we're being helpful and supportive and encouraging their relationship. But we're not to argue with people who are firm. We're just to plant the seeds, and it's up to them if they're going to nurture that seed, and go forward and seek that relationship. But we are to tell them, that's merely it. What we're here to do is to tell them and to show them through our actions that what we're preaching is true. It is true, and this is it. Our testimonies about our battles with the world, our battles with demons, and spirits that wanted to hinder us, and then the devil who wanted to turn us away from our Father. Our testimonies are what helps people be like, okay, there might be something to this, because I see that they went through all of that, but look at them. They don't have everything that they want. They have everything that they need. They're pleasant, they love, they're happy, they're joyous, they're thankful, and they love people without being judgmental and harsh and hateful. Those are the things that we show them, and they naturally, after you plant that seed, they will follow, and they will get curious. That would be something, and then in those instances, that's where we will be encouraging and helpful if they have questions and are seeking guidance. Then we could help them, point them in directions, help them find a church that is actually going to align with Christ, and not the indoctrination that is currently going on in a lot of churches for control. So we can help them to guide them on to have a better relationship with our Father. So that's how it's supposed to be. Oh, I hope this is a good fish, but it's probably going to be another sawgill. I get so many sawgills, it's not even funny. Oh no, it's one of those. All right. Well, interesting. I guess in that note, I'm gonna do our daily devotional. And this is something that I wanted to do on Facebook, but my Facebook is I don't that the video I wanted to do, it wouldn't let me go beyond like a minute and a half. My thing was 5 minutes long. So this is from an app that I use. It's called Bible Chat. I use a couple of different apps with Bible studies. It helps along with my Bible. In this verse, we're in John chapter 4, verse 7. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. Let us love one another, for love is from God. This verse reminds us that God is the ultimate source of love. It calls us to extend the divine love to others, especially in our relationships. Love is not just a feeling, but an action rooted in God's nature and reflection in our daily lives, or it is reflected in our daily lives. In the context of relationship healing, this love serves as a powerful antidote to brokenness. Another red belly. When we love as God loves, we foster forgiveness, understanding, and patience. These qualities mend the wounds and bridge the gaps in our relationships. Jesus exemplified this divine love through his life and sacrifice. He showed us that love involves humility and selflessness. By embracing these traits, we can transform our interactions with others. If we approach conflicts with a heart full of God's love, we become agents of reconciliation and peace. Biblical wisdom tells us that love covers a multitude of sins. This would be Peter 4:8. This means that genuine love has the power to overlook offenses and pave the way for healing. It's not about ignoring wrongs, but about choosing to respond with grace. This wisdom gives us or guides us to act with kindness, even when it's hard. God's love is unconditional and unwavering. Knowing this, we can step into our relationships with confidence, knowing that we are deeply loved by our Creator. This assurance empowers us to love others freely and abundantly. You can do some reflecting and ask a question that will kind of help. The question is, how can I show God's love in a challenging relationship today? This relationship can be with family, it could be a coworker, it could be a friend, or your spouse. Consider one practical step you can take to extend grace and kindness, even if it feels difficult. Remember, through God's love, healing is always possible. That's definitely a big a thing to think about, and that was weighing on me today when I read that, because it really does speak to me with all of my relationships. And when you give grace, instead of fighting and forcing and trying to control, just merely choosing God's love and to love people and to be there for them. To help them through the challenges that they're facing, because we have to understand that we go through things, other people go through things. We have our battles in our head, they have battles in their head. We have battles in the spirit, they have battles in the spirit that they may not even be aware of. So we have to have that patience, we have to have that grace to be able to give them and to just love. Alright, and we're going to end this with a prayer, and then that will be the end of my stream. Heavenly Father, thank you for the gift of relationships and the love that you pour into our hearts. As we journey through this week of learning and healing, we ask for your wisdom and guidance. Help us to understand the depth of your love and reflect it in our interactions. Teach us the power of forgiveness and grace, and let our words be a source of comfort and understanding. Lord, strengthen the bonds of trust in our relationships, and grant us the patience and empathy needed to see through others' eyes. As we navigate conflicts, may your peace and wisdom guide our actions. leading to resolutions that honor you. Help me to nurture lasting bonds that reflect your glory. Amen. I hope that you guys have a great day. Tomorrow I will be on the live stream at 8 o'clock in the morning, as normal. I hope that you have a fantastic week if you don't hear from me. If you don't catch any of my other streams or videos, have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful hour. Enjoy. I hope it's blessed. Take care. Much love. And peace be with you. Until next time.